Welcome to Raw and Unedited Stories, the place where stories are told to uplift and encourage and brighten your day. Today with us is a young man from Jamaica. I'm just going to ask him to introduce himself to you.
So my name is Andrew Warren, and I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, and I'm a very nice person, and I love to go out and stuff.
Nice. You're nice like Julie Mango and East Indian. Oh gosh. All right, Andrew. Thank you for joining us on Raw and Unedited Stories. And I'm just going to begin by asking you to just tell us what is your story, Andrew?
Well, my story is about a young man who grew up not really having it, who used to sell bag juice and stuff downtown, and grow up now having a degree and stuff, and I can say I'm comfortable.
Good. Awesome. Tell us about that journey, Andrew. What an awesome experience. Talk to us about that journey.
Well, that journey begins when I was about 5 year old, growing up between Marvally and Seaview Garden. I used to go to town to sell with my mother because my mother used to sell clothes and stuff like that. So I would go there with her and you know sell. So I used to sell stuff like cheese tricks. I used to sell I can't remember the name of this ball thing there. We have a fragrant smell. Camper ball. You know,
Okay.
I used to sell that.
You're
I
talking
used
about math ball?
camper
Math
ball.
ball. Yes.
Camper ball.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's what we call math ball. All right. Great.
Right. So I
Yes.
used to sell that and cheese tricks. Those were the first two things I used to sell downtown at age 5 or 6. Yeah, where digital is now, the Portmore buses they used to park down that side. So that is where I start to sell, and that is how my journey in selling begins.
Okay.
So I do selling for about I would say 15 plus years because selling is what bring me through school, as in through primary school, high school. So while I was selling downtown, I used to be afraid because I would have be afraid that my classmates would see me, you know. But I still have the courage to do selling because that is where I get my lunch money from, right? So at age 5 or 6, I started to sell bag juice and cheese tricks. Growing up now, I move on to bag juice. So at age 6, 7, 8, or 9, around that time, I used to sell bag juice at 10, 11. That is where $10 juice, they used to call it skettle. That is when those juice comes in. So I used to sell those things now, and that is what carried me through high school. And the high school that I used to attend was Eat It Out and James. I've been proud of where I'm coming from because that is what made me the person who I am now.
Yes. Mhm. Great. That's what a wonderful story, Andrew. Many people seem to would have been ashamed to share this story, but there's no shame in
Mm.
working for an honest bread
Right,
and to send yourself through school.
right.
Talk to us about when that transition started, where you went to high school and from there you went to college. Talk a little bit about that.
Um, I started high school in, if I could remember clearly, that would have been about 1996. At that time, I was selling at the St. Thomas bus stop now. That is where the Texaco gas station and I'm trying to remember that road near, but it is near at the stoplight at Duke Street. I don't remember that road there, but I know it's Duke Street going up. So I spent most of my high school years selling orange juice, sodas, and box drinks at um, that St. Thomas bus stop there. So while growing up now and going to college, going to high school, I used to be afraid. And the reason why I'm around that side is because I did not want my classmate to see me because I used to sell at South Parade, right? But when I started high school, I ventured around to the St. Thomas bus stop because I do not want my classmate to see me. So the less my classmates see me, is the less embarrassed I would be. So I will be around that side doing my stuff and earn my lunch money to go to school for the week. I would be like out there like every Saturday from in the morning, like from 8 in the morning to about 5 in the afternoon to ensure I make enough money to bring me through for the week. And I also have to make enough money that when the other Saturday come, I have money now to go back to shop to ensure I can get my juice and stuff so I can do the selling.
Okay. So you only sold on the weekends. So you
Yes, it's
would.
all on weekends, Saturdays.
Okay. Okay. So what was your home life like during the time? You talked about your mother.
Can you repeat
What
that for me?
what was your home life like at the time? You talked about your mother.
My
Um.
mom.
Yes. Was daddy in your life at the time? What was happening? What was home life like?
Well, I grew up with my mom and brothers and sister. One sister for my mother, for it's five of us. One sister and four, but no, one sister, three brothers, because it's five of us. But my dad has other my dad has other kids by his side. I understand. So
Yes.
I will have a brother and a sister in Spanish Town and a next brother and a sister in Clarendon.
Okay.
So we don't grow up together. But
Mm-hmm.
my brothers and sisters that who lives in St. Catherine would also come stay with us for some of the holidays. So my mom is the one who I grew up with, but my dad is always working. So he never really be a part of our life. But he's there. But I mean he's always working. And the job that he does take him all over Jamaica. So most of the time he's working.
Right. So you had to be on the street often selling to make a living. You were a vendor
Yeah.
and you saved enough money to go to college. What type of student were you?
Repeat it for me.
What type of student were you while you were a vendor on the street? Because being a vendor takes a lot of time. So what kind of student were you? Talk to us about that. And so the point that you got to go to college.
Okay, so the student I am in high school, my favorite subject is maths. Give me anything in maths, I will mash it up. I used to love Spanish because I do Spanish from ninth grade coming up to 11th grade, and I did love Spanish. But when I left high school, I never hear Spanish again, so it never really took off again like that. But there was some failures, you know. There were some failures because not as gloomy as it looks. To where I'm reaching now, there were some failures. When I left high school, I did not leave high school with any subject at all, right? I left high school with something named SSC, some secondary school certificate, right? That is what I did in high school. I didn't get the chance to sit CXC. So when I left high school, I wasn't selling. I did stop sell at grade 11, right? Because I said I could not continue. So when I left the selling and I left high school, I did not have anything. This is when I was going to a church named Marvel Gospel Hall, and Uncle Alfred and the church raised some money, and I went to UTech evening class. Now, if you are not mentally ready for these things, there can be a lot of distractions. While
Mm-hmm.
I was going to UTech evening class, instead of going to school or class, I was mostly going to the party that was going on. So with that said, I failed all my subjects. At that time, I was sitting maths, English, and I think it was accounts, but I failed everything that year, and I was so upset with myself because here I am leaving school with nothing, right? And I get another chance, and I just blew it. I not only messed up what the church has done for me, I also messed up what my sister has done for me because my sister at the time they lived in Aruba and she sent some money to ensure that I get the education, and I just messed up everything. So that is where I said to myself, I need to settle down and get my act together. So after a couple of years, I moved from Marvally down to Seaver Garden because my mom did went to England for 6 months. After she come back from 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 England, there was this lady in Seaview who was telling the young men and women that there was a program going on at the Christ for Redeemer school in Seaview Garden. There was an art program going on. So my mom said I should enroll in that program. So she bring me over there and get me into that art program. You know, I have to big up that teacher that named Mr. Russell. No matter anywhere I see him in Jamaica, I always stop and big him up. Because when I was there wasting my time, he drew me one side and said he sees something in me that I'm not seeing, right? And I should get my act together because I have potential. And that is where I really, really start to settle down at heart. When I did my art exam, I passed them in flying colors. And I say, well, if I can pass my art exam, I can also pass my CXC. And um, the school looked for work for me. And my first job was a veterinary medical clinic. I have to give a lot of persons praises for that too. As I said before, Mr. Russell, who's the one that get me started, you know, and I have to big up a lady by the name of Miss Rose. She was there, Tita too with me. You know, when I was messing up, she was the one that sit me down and talk to me because I was her assistant at that job. And I also have to big up my boss at the time, Dr. Lyon. She always encouraged me, you know. So these are the person who plays important role in my life back in I would say back in 2004. And that is when I started to work with veterinary medical clinic. And this is when I said to myself, I need to go back to school. And I went back to school. That was BGJ. I can't forget. I went back to school. No, sorry, it wasn't BGJ. It was um a school name. I'm trying to remember the school, but it is an Arbitrary Road. Is it a AIRIE? I try to remember some academic something, but I just can't remember the name now. So I used to attend that school. The 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 thing about it is that I I do two subjects and I get one free. So I do about math, English, and accounts. Now, it's going to be a joke for you because um, when I was doing those subjects, I said to myself, you know, I pay some money, I'm not going to spend the money again, you know. But anyway, when I see the maths exam, I said, yes, man, it's easy, mash it up. The English, why, I'm not an English person, to tell you the truth. I'm not an English person.
Uh,
So
Andrew, 1 minute. You say mash it up. That means you pass it with flying colors.
no, well,
All right. I just want to clarify that for those who are not in Jamaica to know that
yes,
when you say
because
mash it up,
you're going to hear what happened. You're going to hear what happened.
all right.
Because when I say mash it up, you will swear things that I did well. Because when I
Right.
said mash it up, I mash it up mean exceptionally well. But
Exactly.
but we don't reach a part yet when I go and pick up my result. So when I did the math exam, I said, yeah man, I did well on this paper. So I don't have to worry about it. I have that luck. Meaning I did good, you know. And when I saw the accounts paper, um, I had fever same time in the exam because I sat at the door and I was sweating, and I don't know why I was sweating, and the breeze was blowing, and my paper was all over the place, but I was sweating. Anyway, I looked through the papers and I said, look, I failed this. I see persons walking out crying, and I'm saying I spent a lot of money and I'm not going to walk out. I'm going to do this exam. So I skipped the paper and I said, debenture, I did that. I see some other stuff. I did that. Come back round to the front, try to do one and two things. And I said, sure, we never fail the accounts, but we never pass the matter. At least we get one. But it was time for result.
Right.
So I said to my coworker who I assist, I'm going for my pay, man, I'm going for my result now. Yes, so happy as I am, happy as I am now. My mama got to school, and when I went to the school, I went to pick up my result. Now, when I look on my result,